Hey, what is up guys, this is Cobb, and welcome to my 3 PvP builds going into Season of Discovery. This one right here that you can see on screen right now is going to be the most general of the 3 builds, so let's break it down, shall we? We start off with 5 points into Cataclysm, because honestly improved Shadow Bolt doesn't do a whole lot for you in PvP, so yeah, Cataclysm is just where the 5 points have to go. Bane, reducing the cast time of Shadow Bolt and Immolate is obviously great, good stuff. And we go into Shadowburn, which is going to be extremely powerful, by the way, in Season of Discovery, because at rank 24, not rank 24, at level 24, you get your rank 2 of Shadowburn, which is a huge power spike right before you hit the level cap of 25. Yeah, very, very powerful ability in SoD. We also go 5 points into Improved Corruption, because instants are just nice, they're just great, they can't be undervalued. And yeah, in vanilla, you have so few ways to kind of, I mean, you basically have no way to get away from melees. So if you get a melee on you, especially in PvP, these kind of instants, whether you're destro or not, you know, Improved Corruption is going to help you out a hell of a lot. Now, moving on to the runes. First of all, Metamorphosis. I don't know, dude. I've got a sense, I've got a feeling that this is going to be absolutely necessary to run. As much as I would love to be pumping Chaos Bolts in Season of Discovery in PvP, and I'm like, one of the builds does include Chaos Bolt actually, because it just looks too fun. I think that just the defensive power of Metamorphosis is going to be too important. 500% additional armor, 6% reduced chance to be critically struck, and also makes your Searing Pain instant cast, you know. So Metamorphosis is, I feel, going to be pretty necessary in PvP, whether you're playing destro or not. This is really good stuff. On chest, I actually opted into Master Channeler. I think that this is great. I think that even if you're not running things like Improved Drain Life, I think Master Channeler is going to be great. Your Drain Life is no longer channeled. It lasts 15 seconds. So it just creates a link between you and an enemy target. And once it's up, it lasts for 15 seconds. You don't have to channel it. You don't have to stand there casting it or whatever. It's just up for 15 seconds. It does cost double the mana, but it also heals you for 50% more every time it deals damage. So I think, again, this is just going to be great, man. When you've got enemies all up in your face, you can just link somebody with Master Channeler while you're in Metamorphosis form. Should be pretty tanky. Should be. Now, I know things can get very bursty in vanilla, so maybe this won't be worth it in the end. If you find that you're just dying anyway, even with Master Channeler and Metamorphosis, like, I guess it's not making that much of a difference, then yeah, Demonic Tactics will probably be the way to go, right? Just that extra crit chance would just be great too, especially if you're spamming instant cast Searing Pains in Metamorphosis as well, right? This extra crit could actually be worth quite a lot. It's a really close call. Again, I'd love to go into Demonic Tactics ahead of Master Channeler, but I do think Master Channeler has the potential to be pretty strong. Let's see how it pans out, man. And finally, on legs, we go into Incinerate. So burn your enemy for a bunch of damage. Most importantly, though, increase your fire damage you deal by 25% for the next 15 seconds. So your rotation in PvP would be just getting off an Incinerate as quickly as possible, and then an Immolate, and then as soon as they're looking at you, right, you're dealing all this increased fire damage. You have up at an increased fire damage Immolate as well that you've snapshotted with after the Incinerate buff, and then you're spamming all of these instant Searing Pains and Shadowburns and Corruptions and stuff. And hopefully you can just bend down some kills that way, man. And none of your damage can really be interrupted after you've got off the Incinerate Immolate, you know? So that would be the idea of build number 1, the most general build we'll be covering in this video. And alright, for the next build we're going to cover, I call this one the Nuclear Bomb build, okay? You'll notice straight away that, yeah, we do go into Chaos Bolt on this one. We do go into Demonic Tactics on this one. So it's really just about maximizing damage as much as possible. You might also notice that this build is really just designed to kind of sit on the back line and just pump ridiculous amounts of damage. There's obviously going to be a whole bunch of World PvP events, I believe, in Ashenvale. And so while those are active, you might just want to sit at the back of a huge group of like 20, 30, or 40 players and just pump stupid amounts of damage. And as such, your need for corruption is going to be severely diminished. People are just either going to be getting one-shotted or getting spam healed and surviving everything anyway. And so at that point, dots like corruption just aren't really going to do a whole lot for you. So we pull the 5 points out of corruption at this point and just put them all into devastation. And so this build is all, it's just all about pumping. We even just pull points out of Cataclysm and go in and improve Shadow Bolt, because this build is just going to be pumping damage, dude. Now, I don't know if Incinerate is going to have a a cooldown just yet in Season of Discovery, you might just want to avoid Shadow Bolt completely and just take all these points out and put them back in Cataclysm and just spam Incinerates and Case Bolts and Searing Pains, and that might be the way to go. The Nuclear Bomb build, this is for if you were just focusing on large-scale world PvP events where you're pretty confident that you're just going to be able to sit pretty at the back of a huge group of players and pump stupid amounts of damage. And finally, that brings us to the Affliction build, which is kind of funny because you still run Incinerate as the Affliction build. Like, the Affliction's damage is still, like, very, very fire-based when you're in a Metamorphosis, but anyways, man, yeah, 5 points in Improved Corruption, pretty self-explanatory. 1 point in Suppression because we just want to kind of fill out the tree just a little bit. Improved Life Tap is obviously Grit. I actually would like to put 5 points into Drain Life, just because you are going to be running Master Channeler as Affliction. Yeah, I think it seems pretty tight to me. An option is to pull 3 points out of Drain Life and put it into Improved Curse of Agony as well, but it is only a 6% damage increase, and it is important to understand that you only go up to rank 2 Curse of Agony in this Season of Discovery because the level cap is level 25. The most recent rank of Curse of Agony you get is at level 18. And so it's not like the most efficient thing in the world. It's not the most like beefed up, like hardcore power spike spell in the world in Season of Discovery. So maybe this will feel better, or maybe this will feel better. I'm not quite sure which one is going to pan out just yet. Similarly as well with Improved Healthstone and Demonic Embrace. Maybe this will feel better, you know, putting a couple of points into Demonic Embrace. I got a feeling that Improved Healthstone might feel a little bit more potent. I'm not sure, man. A lot of these things have to be experimented with, I guess. But yeah, for the other runes as well, honestly, the leg slots for Affliction does not looking that great, man. Everlasting Affliction kind of sucks. Demonic Embrace gives, you know, bonus. Like, the plus dodge is fine. Extra 30% dodge chance is fine, I guess, against, like, melees. Unless it's a warrior who have overpower, but getting, like, increased chance to crit with your attacks for 6 seconds, useless as hell as Affliction. Demonic Pact is definitely interesting, but it's only your pet's critical strikes applying Demonic Pact to your party members for 45 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So that extra spell power buff. Large scale PvP, your pet is probably just going to die a lot, and so yeah, that's going to suck quite a bit. I feel like as long as you are running Metamorphosis, by the way, Incinerate is kind of mandatory. I suppose an alternate rune layout you could go is if you don't want to go Metamorphosis with Affliction and you want to go full Shadow, you can go into Haunt, which would be kind of tight, like more aggressive, you know? Going into the Haunt, and then on legs, you don't need to run Incinerate anymore because you're relying much, much less on the likes of Searing Pain to deal like a stupid amount of damage, right? You're going for more of like a classical Affliction spread aids on everybody style damage, and so at that point, maybe Demonic Pact becomes a little bit better. I'm not so sure, dude. Everlasting Affliction, Demonic Pact, it gives you some options on your legs to kind of play around. I'd lean towards Demonic Pact, but again, I'd be worried in large-scale PvP of your pet just dying and you just not getting any value out of this buff. But yeah, I'd actually quite like to try out a good Haunt-based Affliction setup as well and see how that feels, man. But anyways, that is all for the builds, man. And you know what, while we're at it, I'll go ahead and mention that I have a WoW-head article linked down below in the video description. And what this is going to do is link the locations that you can click a button here on this WoW-head article to reveal the locations of all of the runes that you might want to pick up as Warlock. So if you got an eye on, say, like the Haunt rune or the Case Bolt rune or the Demonic Tactics rune or Master Channeler or whatever, you can head on over to this site. Click on Reveal Discovery Location if you just want to spoil where the location is and just go pick up the rune as quickly as possible. Yeah, you can do that on this article, so hopefully that will help you out a little bit as well. And when it comes to professions, yeah, Alchemy should be able to craft you, or maybe you can craft yourself, the free action potion. This one is going to be quite useful for you in PvP, just give you some stun immunity, some movement impairing immunity, via Alchemy. And another item worth mentioning as well is, of course, the Gnomish Netomatic Projector from Engineering. The only way to really apply nets to enemies at this level stage in Classic. You know what I'm saying? And so as for professions, to be honest, I think I'm probably just going to pick up both Herbalism and Mining and do my best to just farm up as much crap as I can and see if I can level both Alchemy and Engineering as like two, like double barreling, like primary professions rather than having one gathering and one blah blah blah. That said, we have no idea what trinkets may or may not be available on Classic. Will engineering be worth it at level 25 if the Gnomish Netomatic is replaced by like a better trinket, like something new and fresh that's available? We just don't know yet, man. At the time of recording this video, I just don't know. That said, engineering and alchemy, pretty surefire, damn good professions to pick up in Classic, all things considered. They tend to be pretty consistently good. And so if I had to recommend something, I'd say just grab herbalism, grab mining, and yeah, make your mind up at a later date over what primary crafting profession you're going to pick up. And alright, that's about gonna do it, boys. So, have fun in Season of Discovery. Hope this video helped some of y'all out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I shall catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man. It's getting exciting now, man.